Divine retribution? You can't be serious, Miss Melnick.
Your Honor, the justification statute permits the use of deadly force in the defense of another person.
From the threat of deadly physical force that's both real and immediate.
Jacob Reese perceived exactly that. By threatening his daughter's faith, Nash was placing her in imminent danger of serious bodily injury.
From what? A bolt of lightning?
Your Honor, my client believes that an act of God could have struck his daughter down at any moment if Nash wasn't stopped.
Stopped from teaching her about evolution, or stopped from having sex with her?
If Mr. McCoy has any proof that they were intimate, let's see it.
Even if you bought their twisted logic, it's only an argument for justification of killing God, not Charles Nash.
In my client's eyes, Nash was the driving force pushing Mary towards God's reproach as surely as if he were pushing her off a cliff.
What about the fact that the defendant burned down a church to cover up his righteous act?
The People versus Flores. An attempt to conceal a crime does not prohibit the assertion of a justification defense.
In this case, it demonstrates that the defense is a complete fraud.
That's for the jury to decide.
How does the defense expect to prove this fairy tale?
By establishing Jacob Reese's profound religious faith.
So we're just supposed to take his word for it?
The United States Supreme Court has held that the First Amendment prohibits the courts from determining the validity of religious beliefs. Men may believe what they cannot prove. U.S. versus Ballard.
It's a subjective standard, Mr. McCoy. You and I may not believe it's reasonable, but if the defense can establish Mr. Reese does...
Then it's the basis for an insanity defense, not justification.
Perhaps, but unfortunately, you can't dictate strategy to Miss Melnick.
You're going to allow this, Your Honor?
Well, who am I to say that the defendant's literal belief in biblical retribution is not reasonable?
You're a judge in a court of law.
And you're out of line, counselor. If Mr. Reese can convince a jury that this was truly his state of mind at the time of the homicide, then let them decide if this justifies what he did.
In that case, I move for a 7:30 exam.
Fine.
What does that mean?
He's claiming that you're not mentally fit to stand trial.
That I'm crazy? Because I believe in God and his power to punish sinners and heretics.
Because the defendant is so deluded with religious mythology that he can't mount a responsible defense for himself.
Your Honor, that is straight out of Karl Marx. You can't possibly grant that application.
Your unconventional defense opened the door, Miss Melnick. I want a psych workup on the defendant, and I'll hold a hearing on his competency.
Who's winning, the Christians or the Lions?
Who are you, and what have you done with Danielle Melnick?
The First Amendment isn't just about free speech, Jack. It also protects religious practice.
And on that pretext, you turn a courtroom into Alice in Wonderland?
Oh, come on, Jack. Don't you think that I realize what this sounds like?
Then why sign on?
I suggested 10 other options. This was the only defense he would endorse. And I believe he believes it.
Then maybe you need a 7:30 exam.
Look, a jury may laugh this out of the courtroom, but you have to allow the argument. The minute you start challenging its veracity, you're making dangerous value judgments.
If faith is an excuse for murder, then let's just give a free pass to Osama bin Laden.
It is not the government's place to tell people what they can and cannot believe.
But you're not protecting Jacob Reese's religious choice. You're helping him hide behind it.
Maybe it's self-delusion on his part, or maybe it's faith.
Or maybe it doesn't have anything to do with religious principle at all, and the man just snapped. So let's call it what it is. A Hail Mary.
You know, not everybody thinks this is such a joke. Tomorrow's Daily News just hit the stands. Good night and God bless, Jack.